Hollyhocks are the quintessential cottage garden plant, standing tall and proud with their dramatic, spire-like blooms that can transform any garden into a scene straight out of a storybook. These classic beauties are not just showstoppers, but are also surprisingly easy to grow from seed, making them a favorite for gardeners of all skill levels. On this video, we're going to walk you through everything you need to know to get your hollyhocks off to a fantastic start. We'll cover the basics of choosing the right seeds, prepping your soil, planting, and ensuring your plants thrive with proper care. Stick around, and by the end, you'll be ready to add some serious vertical flair to your garden. When it comes to choosing hollyhock seeds, the variety you select will have a big impact on the look and feel of your garden. Hollyhocks come in several types, including single and double-flowered varieties, as well as biennial options, which typically bloom in their second year. Single-flowered hollyhocks have a classic, simple charm, with open, flat petals that give them a more traditional cottage garden look. On the other hand, double-flowered varieties offer fuller, ruffled blooms that add a lush, almost romantic vibe to your garden. As for colors, hollyhocks offer a spectrum of options, from soft pastels like pink and yellow to bolder shades of red, purple, and even near black. When selecting seeds, it's crucial to purchase from a reputable supplier to ensure high germination rates and healthy plants. Look for organic or non-GMO seeds if you prefer a more natural approach to gardening. Additionally, consider your local climate and garden conditions when choosing a variety. Some hollyhocks are more tolerant of heat and humidity, while others might prefer cooler temperatures. Hollyhocks are sun worshippers, thriving in locations that get at least 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight each day. A sunny location ensures these tall, dramatic plants grow strong and produce their best blooms. However, because hollyhocks can grow quite tall, sometimes up to 8 feet, they're also vulnerable to wind damage. To protect them, consider planting them against a fence or wall, or in a sheltered spot where they'll get some natural windbreak. Next, you'll want to focus on soil preparation, which is key to healthy hollyhocks. These plants prefer well-draining, fertile soil that can support their robust growth. If your soil is heavy clay or too sandy, it's worth taking the time to amend it. Adding compost or well-rotted manure will boost soil fertility and improve its structure, making it easier for the roots to establish and absorb nutrients. Loosen the soil to a depth of about 12 inches to promote good root penetration, and work in organic matter to ensure the soil stays well drained but retains enough moisture for the hollyhocks to thrive. The best time to sow hollyhock seeds directly into your garden is in late spring or early summer, once the soil has warmed up and the threat of frost has passed. If you're eager to get a head start, you can also start your seeds indoors about 6 to 8 weeks before the last expected frost date. This gives your plants a bit of a jump, ensuring they're ready to go once the weather is perfect for transplanting outside. For direct sowing, you'll want to plant the seeds at a depth of about 1/4 inch. Space them about 18 to 24 inches apart to give each plant enough room to grow into its full, glorious height without overcrowding. If you're starting seeds indoors, plant them in seed trays or small pots, covering them lightly with soil and keeping them in a warm, bright spot until they're ready to be moved outside. And once your hollyhock seeds have sprouted and grown into seedlings, the real care begins. Keep the soil consistently moist during the germination period. Hollyhocks love moisture, but you don't want the soil to be waterlogged. As the seedlings grow, you can gradually adjust your watering schedule, letting the top layer of soil dry out slightly between waterings to encourage strong root growth. Thinning is another crucial step. Once your seedlings have developed a couple of sets of true leaves, thin them out to avoid overcrowding. Aim for one strong seedling every 18 to 24 inches, removing the weaker ones so the remaining plants have ample space and nutrients. Finally, mulch around your hollyhocks. A good layer of organic mulch, like straw or shredded bark, will help retain moisture, keep the roots cool, and prevent weeds from stealing nutrients from your plants. This simple step goes a long way in ensuring your hollyhocks grow healthy and vibrant, giving you a beautiful, towering display of flowers that will last all summer long. As your hollyhocks shoot up toward the sky, they'll need a little extra support to stay upright, especially when those tall flower spikes start to bloom. Staking is your best friend here. Once your plants are about a foot tall, it's a good idea to drive a stake into the ground near each plant. Bamboo stakes work well for this purpose. They're sturdy enough to handle the job, but won't overshadow the beauty of your plants. Gently tie the stems to the stakes using soft garden ties, giving them some room to move naturally while keeping them from flopping over. Now, let's talk fertilization. Hollyhocks are relatively low maintenance, but they do appreciate a little feeding to fuel their growth and bloom production. A light application of balanced fertilizer, think October 10th 10, once or twice during the growing season should do the trick. Just make sure you don't overdo it. Too much fertilizer can lead to lots of lush foliage at the expense of flowers. Apply the fertilizer around the base of the plants, keeping it away from the stems, and water it in well to help the nutrients soak into the soil. Unfortunately, hollyhocks can attract a few unwelcome guests in the garden, like aphids, slugs, and hollyhock weevils. Keep an eye out for these pests and act quickly if you spot them. A strong blast of water from the hose can dislodge aphids, while organic slug bait or traps can help manage slug populations. For weevils, hand-picking them off the plants is often the most effective method, especially during the early morning when they're less active. Hollyhocks are also prone to rust, a fungal disease that shows up as orange-brown spots on the leaves. The best way to prevent rust is to ensure good air circulation around your plants, which means giving them plenty of space and avoiding overhead watering, which can keep the leaves wet and create a perfect environment for fungus to thrive. If rust does appear, remove and destroy affected leaves to prevent the disease from spreading. As your hollyhocks enter their blooming season, get ready for a garden showstopper. These tall, vibrant flowers will begin to unfurl in late spring to early summer, creating a stunning vertical display that can last several weeks. To keep the blooms coming, be diligent about deadheading. This simply means snipping off the spent flowers. Not only does this keep your plants looking tidy, but it also encourages them to focus their energy on producing more blooms rather than setting seeds. Speaking of seeds, once the blooming season winds down, you can start thinking about collecting seeds for next year. Hollyhocks are generous self-seeders, so if you want them to spread naturally, you can let some of the flower heads go to seed. However, if you'd like to collect seeds to plant in specific spots or share with friends, wait until the seed pods turn brown and dry on their stalks. Then, simply snip them off, remove the seeds, and store them in a cool, dry place. Labeling the seeds with the variety and the date collected is a good practice to ensure you know what you're planting next season. After the blooming season, your hollyhocks will start to wind down. It's important to give them some post-bloom care to prepare them for the next year. Cut back the flower stalks to about 6 inches above the ground once the plant has finished blooming. This tidies up your garden and helps prevent any diseases from overwintering. If you live in a colder climate, mulching around the base of the plants can help protect the roots during the winter months. In a nutshell, growing hollyhocks is a delightful experience that rewards you with a spectacular display of color and height in your garden. Remember to give them the right care during their blooming season, save some seeds for next year, and prepare them for a restful winter. With just a bit of attention, your hollyhocks will return year after year, bringing that classic charm to your garden. If you enjoyed these tips, don't forget to subscribe to GardenBound for more gardening wisdom. And we'd love to hear about your hollyhock adventures. Share your experiences in the comments below. Happy gardening!